I can gleefully stand on the bridge and blow it up because, bitch, I know how to swim.
All right, so Monday night, CM Punk opened Monday Night Raw in Houston, Texas, world heavyweight title on his shoulder. And he did not come to play nice. Roman Reigns wasn't there. Pat McAfee wasn't there. But Punk didn't need them. Not at all. No one. Because the microphone was hot and the tea was boiling over for him. This promo hit every single person on the power structure of professional wrestling when it comes to TKO and WWE. Roman Reigns, The Rock, Vince McMahon, Pat McAfee, and of course, Ari Emanuel, a man who has never laced up a pair of boots in his life, just got name dropped on Monday Night Raw. In what world does that make sense? Let me break that down to you though. Welcome to the Tea Drop. Strong Brew, no soft behavior. Today, we are covering the CM Punk Pipebomb on TKO and who he attacked, who he got into, whose face did he get into, and who was he referring to in every segment. So we go to the first reference he does, which is Roman Reigns. On Roman Reigns, he basically commented, and I apologize if I don't show a lot of clips from the video because you know how WWE can be with copyright. Punk addressed Roman Reigns very straightforward, basically calling him out for being a Nepo baby and all that. And he basically said, your tools are store-bought and hand-delivered, and they're like you. They're plastic. My daddy wasn't a pro wrestler who gave me a favored job because I sucked at football. Calling him out for his damn football sprint that he had back in Miami, I believe. I have paid my dues and you're just a buck-toothed Nepo baby who ate dog food for a weird old man. Weird old man, obviously he's referencing Vince McMahon. And there was a storyline that Roman did a few years ago with, I forgot his name because he's not even here anymore. They threw dog food at Roman Reigns and now it was just the weirdest segment. Nepo baby dog food, that's not at all him trying to do wrestling pro. That's him, I guess, psych evaluating Roman Reigns at this point. And that's a wild statement to make. Every word is factually accurate. Roman was given the push in 2015 that the fans rejected for 3 years straight. That's the whole area that he's referring to. They rejected him for 3 years straight. This is Punk calling out the original sin of modern WWE. He eventually goes to The Rock. Where's The Rock? On The Rock, he pretty much stated, you gleefully leave early. Well, he eventually connects to The Rock through Roman Reigns. So he starts continuing addressing Roman Reigns until he gets to The Rock. He says, you gleefully leave early and you puff your chest around in the back like you're The Rock. At least The Rock is a Hollywood superstar. Oh, I'm sorry, was a Hollywood superstar. And obviously the crowd goes wild. Punk is a wild man. Punk threw in that was like it was nothing, low-key, cold, and the crowd took every minute of it. Now, we have, what else did he address? He addressed Vince McMahon. Like, he was just going for everyone. He called, when he says that weird old man, you already know, everyone knows who he's talking about. He's talking about Vince McMahon. He said that weird old man for years treated me like a dog, and he expected me to smile. But I had FU money, so I took that and my dignity, and I left. Here's where it got real for him, I feel, because Punk didn't say Vince's name, but in 2016, with obviously what's going on with the Janelle Grant lawsuit still being in the headlines, you don't need to know what he means because it's very obvious. The audience knows exactly who that weird old man is. This is Punk using the course of public opinion as a weapon. Now, there's a money line in there that we all know about, which is probably the biggest thing. He eventually starts addressing Pat McAfee now. He calls him Pat McAfee, you buggy, whipped arm, no brain hillbilly. You think you can come to my business and run your mouth. He eventually continues by saying, you call up your agent that was foolish enough to shoehorn you into this business and this show and tell him to lower the ticket prices. I'll be damned if I let somebody that kicked a football for a living come into my business and lecture me about selling tickets and putting asses in the seats. Freaking damned. He says, Houston lowered the ticket prices because I want all these families to come watch me stand on Roman Reigns' throat at WrestleMania because my name is CM Punk and I approve this message. Like, the man is going through a election. He pretty much cooked Roman Reigns and pretty much everyone at TKO. He pretty much destroyed the man. It was probably one of the best segments so far in this WrestleMania build. And I'm glad. This is probably the biggest thing that everyone's talking about this week. Now, here's where we earn our spot, because while some are just reacting to the promo, we're going to go a little bit in the business side. Was this real? Was this scripted? And does it even matter at this point? I mean, they're getting our attention for somewhat. So here's where the evidence, I guess, if it was a real shoot. Our very belovable PW insider Mike Johnson reported Punk went off script from WWE's promo. Johnson also reported multiple WWE locker room talents are legitimately frustrated with TKO over ticket prices. Punk was speaking for the locker room. And here's the article. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, WWE had a plan for what they wanted CM Punk to say last night on WWE Raw. However, went out there and cut a promo from the heart, like he always does, for the most part, going off script from the original plan. Johnson reports that Punk's remarks last night mirror the backstage frustration of several talents over the past few weeks. As the promo itself, Johnson hasn't heard of any of fallout at the moment over what Punk said. Some of CM Punk's biggest moments in WWE are when he decides to speak from his heart instead of adhering to a script. If the company decides to take the handcuffs off Punk going forward, it would only improve the interest in the product in the months ahead. Now, it's weird that we are still in this world that we think that we need scripts. We don't need scripts, in my honest opinion. Most of the biggest stars that we know today, or that keep coming up from the past, those are wrestlers that didn't need scripts. They didn't. Triple H, for the most part, didn't. The Rock didn't. Stone Cold. They just knew this is your goal. By the time you finish your promo, this is what you need to accomplish. You figure it out how to go there. There's also been talk that they wanted complimentary tickets, the staff, but they weren't getting it for the most part. Now, here's where there's another one. Yeah, so he spoke for the locker room regarding ticket prices. And here it is. Johnson revealed he's heard from several WWE talent who are very frustrated by the high ticket prices heading to WrestleMania this year, noting that even though the event isn't sold out and plenty of seats are still available, TKO is only offering talent 2 comp for the night they perform. If they want additional tickets for their family, they have to pay for them themselves. Most of the wrestlers are okay with getting their own ticket, but it's gotten to the point that they can't even afford it. Now, there's more notes about why this could be a shoot. A majority of WWE talent are reportedly set to miss out on complimentary tickets to WrestleMania 42. So although they were offering tickets, 2 comps for the nights you perform, if you're not performing, you don't get tickets. So some people are definitely missing out. Like if The Miz is not doing anything, for example, he can't get tickets. He can show up probably at the event, but he's not getting tickets for his wife or his kids. Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer reported that the company has told a large number of people that no comps will be distributed this year, despite the show widely discussed ticket sale challenges. Now, there are some that believe that this was just a work shoot. Brian Alvarez said point blank, if it wasn't obvious from Punk's promo, it appears WWE is looking to lower ticket prices through the summer. Meaning WWE already knew this was coming and the plan was already in motion, so they just let Punk say it first. So there is reports saying that WWE is planning to lower the ticket prices after WrestleMania, so maybe by SummerSlam, maybe the tickets will be a little affordable. Don't expect it to be affordable by much. Whatever they offer 25% off, expect it to go down maybe by that. It's still going to be expensive. Now, no fallout. There's no fallout. Johnson reported no backstage heat on Punk following the promo. Suspiciously clean for a real unscripted promo, too. I mean, this promo was good, but it wasn't like crazy. And he obviously, as you know, they already pretty much covered the fact that it was all planned. Now, another thing some people pointed out is that on Twitter, WWE promoted the promo right away, calling it a pipe bomb themselves, and they did it without hesitation. Now, people are saying that, but at the same time, WWE quickly uploads clips as soon as the segment happens to keep fans updated. That's how they were able to grow so fast in real time for Twitter and in Instagram. So I don't agree with that point, but some fans are like that. Now, the entire promo was noted that it was perfectly structured at a beginning, middle, and climax. And a catchphrase closer with the CM Punk and I approve this message, whatever kind of thing. Real shoots are messy. CM Punk's first pipe bomb was much messier than this one, so, or maybe it could be at this point that he's just giftedly better. So we're in the darkness on whether this promo was real or not. Now here's what I think happened though, and you can all tell me if I'm wrong in the chat. It's a hybrid. Punk was given the framework to go out there, defend the fans, address the ticket price issues, call out Pat and Ari Emanuel because Triple H's creative team needed a babyface mouthpiece to publicly pressure TKO into doing what the locker room has been begging for behind closed doors. Punk is not the only guy on the roster credible enough to say it. You put Cody Rhodes out there with the promo, it rings hollow. You put Seth Rollins out there, nobody buys it. But CM Punk has the equity. Punk has the receipts. Punk is the voice of the voiceless. If you saw the image of, or the video of him when he gets into the crowd and he spreads his arms out, he looked like freaking Superman in Batman v Superman when all the crowd was touching his chest or whatever, like he's a savior. That's how it looked like, and we'll get to that when we go to the Raw review or the Raw segment. This wasn't Punk going rogue. It was obviously Punk, Triple H using Punk as a weapon he was built to be. And at the same time, give us, the fans, the confusion because we don't know whether it's real or not. But Triple H does. And that's the only person that needs to matter. Now let's talk about the man Punk was really calling out, because I guarantee half of the casual fan base heard that agent and had no idea who he was talking about. At least the casual fans. Us, the more continuous fans watching, they know who they were talking about. And that is obviously Ari Emanuel. So let me introduce you to the final boss of this situation, because it is not The Rock. It is Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel is the CEO and executive chairman of TKO Group Holding, the publicly traded company that owns both WWE and UFC. He's also Pat McAfee's personal super agent, the man who signs McAfee's checks and manages his career outside of WWE. Ari Emanuel was the one who pushed for celebrity involvement in WrestleMania 42's main event, specifically. And that's a key thing we need to pay attention. When we have celebrity involvement, it's usually not in the main event. It's in the mid-card event, maybe even the low-card event, the opening matches, but never in the main event, unless it's really necessary and it makes coherent sense with the story. This one doesn't. This is why people are pissed. You don't see people pissed at Little Yachty involvement with Trick Williams, because it makes sense. It makes sense why Little Yachty and Trick Williams are working together. Storyline, it makes sense. So when they talk about the WrestleMania 42 event specifically, they're all talking, he wanted McAfee, or McAfee as CM Punk calls him, in the Cody Orton storyline. And that was reported by Dave Meltzer. This bypassed Triple H's creative team entirely. Multiple sources confirmed that McAfee insertion was an edict from TKO corporate and not a pitch at all from WWE creative. They had no intention of using McAfee. I'm just gonna call him Pat because I don't want to get in trouble. McAfee. Anyway, there was no intention. WWE creative was gonna plan to figure out how to use the 20 years of history between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton to make that storyline work. But I guess it wasn't quick enough for TKO. McAfee initially turned down the role. WWE was scrambling to find someone else before eventually getting McAfee back on the table. In February 2026, a Bloomberg report stated that Emanuel is trying to turn Pat McAfee into the next Sylvester Stallone, as I previously stated in another video. McAfee literally produces Emanuel's own podcast. This is the same Ari Emanuel who serves as the real-world inspiration for Jeremy Piven's Ari Gold character on HBO Entourage, if you're not aware. So let me get this straight. The CEO of TKO, who is also the personal agent of the celebrity being inserted into your WrestleMania main event, ordered your creative team to put his client on TV. And of course, Cody Rhodes has openly said that he was legitimately frustrated about it, because that was his promo 2 Friday Night SmackDowns ago. And eventually, you had CM Punk call out this past Monday, Pat McAfee out by name, and then Ari Emanuel without using his name. Where in the world does this not create a conflict of interest? I'm asking though. If you guys know, just drop it in the chat, because I want to see it. Because I'm at a loss at this point with these people. So, okay, before you say the ticket prices can't be that bad, let me show you the actual numbers of the show so far. because this is where you all need to understand what Punk's really talking about. And here we are at this point. We are comparing right now between the two. We are comparing WrestleMania 42 and 41. Now, WrestleMania 42 is about 19,000 seats behind where WrestleMania 41 was at the same point. So at this time, there are 19,000 tickets apart together between both nights. And WWE still dropped the cheapest ticket price after Punk's promo. Night 1 dropped from $254 to $177 apparently. These guys are scrambling. Punk said lower the ticket prices on Monday night. And by Friday, TKO was already discounted. Thursday, they were discounted. By Friday, they made it more public with the 25% discount made by Pat McAfee. Thank you to Rams Trucks or whatever. You want to tell me that promo wasn't coordinated? But also, in what world does it make business sense that your own talent are only getting 2 free tickets to the biggest show of the year that they are performing in? And they have to buy the rest. That's the part that should have every wrestling fan furious for these guys, because this is a big time for them. And more than anything, they want to have their family there for this big moment. Some of them may be winning championships and only 2 people can see it. Now let's talk about what us, the fans, my people, are actually saying, because the IWC is not a monolith on this one. There are 2 teams on this when it comes to this promo. There's a team that loved this promo. They said, this is what makes me love Punk. He's probably the best on the mic in WWE right now. Another one said, most guys and gals today are boring on the mic. This is all through Reddit. This was a great promo. And there's a group that is very skeptical of this, of course. And it might be the younger people at this point. They said, pipe bomb, nice try. WWE propagandists question whether it deserves the pipe bomb. Label it at all. It's like the Black Mirror episode, 15 million merits? I had never seen that. WWE and TKO know the pipe bomb thing sells. True. And some are even comparing it, and it's become a clear thing at this point that this is WCW 2000. The WCW comparison is the real thing happening in IWC right now. All over X, all over Reddit, everyone's saying, welcome to WCW 2026. And that's wild. And that's the other lane we got to address, because the Sportster ran a whole piece saying the promo is moving WWE dangerously towards WCW, blurring the lines between fiction and reality, the same booking that killed WCW under Vince Russo, unfortunately. And we're going to talk about him later. That's the real concern. And you're telling me in the chat, is CM Punk saving the product? Like, let me know in the chat. And you tell me, is CM Punk saving the product, or is this the beginning of a creative spiral? Just let me know. Now, we can talk about what happened after the promo on Monday and go a little bit into SmackDown. SmackDown on this past Friday, Pat McAfee cuts his own promo about ticket prices and cage side seat. Confirmed McAfee's SmackDown promos not written by WWE creative. So it was done by TKO. Now, he pretty much said, oh, did you like how he called me McAfee or whatever? He was crying like a little sourpuss. And then he said, you know what? And I don't know if he said it because that was the symbol on the middle of the mat. But he said, I talked to Ram Trucks and said, hey, you want to be a good sponsor? Hey, how about you cut 25% of the bill? They said, sure. Who knows if it's real storyline. And that's when they said, oh, we're going to do 25% off between that Friday, April 10th, until the next Monday night, which is tomorrow, April 13th. They're going to cut 25% of the tickets, which is totally messed up at this point, because what about all the people that bought the tickets since early December, who already saved up all their hard-earned cash and all that? Are they getting a discount? Are they going to get some money back? Because they were the real ones. They were the ones that bought it no matter what, blindly, without knowing what the story build-up would be or anything like that. What was it leading to? And I really hope Ram or Dodge or even Chevrolet at this point sends a discount to these people. Maybe they can give the money back to Ticketmaster, 25% off, and refund some of these fans, because that should be also done if we're going to go this route. How is this messed up? WWE should start a thing that, hey, because some events do it. If you buy the tickets within the first month, you will get it at this price. But after this deadline, the tickets go higher in price and higher until the last minute. And maybe back then you'll discount it, but not discount it to the point of the first buyer that bought the early bird. Let's call it the early bird. They should be able to do that. They have the money to be able to do that. But anyway, McAfee publicly stated if Randy Orton does not win the title at WrestleMania 42, he will never return to wrestling TV, which I really hope at this point. A stipulation that almost at this point guarantees Orton's going to win. And he also confirmed, as you know, that he is going to help lower the ticket prices, even though in reality, we're just getting a temporary patch discount. And then from here to SummerSlam, I guess we're going to get discounted tickets. Hopefully they do the same for the people who are doing the Clash in Rome or Italy, whatever. Now, WrestleMania 42 tickets did drop, and at this point, night one, for the cheapest ticket, you can get it at it went from 254 to 117, and right now the cheapest ticket for night two is 117, going down from 226. And let me remind you, the 226 isn't even the original price because they were even higher. And this is probably at the top of the stadium, so bear in mind with that. So to recap, CM Punk drops a promo on Monday. By Thursday, WWE is discounting WrestleMania tickets. If that's not the most effective promo of 2026, I don't know what is at this point. Scripted or unscripted, the outcome is real. The families hopefully win, I hope. I hope whoever was hoping for lower tickets get to go now with these lower tickets, even though you still got to deal with the trip to Vegas. Unless you're locals, good for you guys. And Punk gets the credit. The Punk's getting credit this time, even though probably Pat also wants credit. This is, whether it's real or not, it is genius booking at this point, or a work shoot that actually work. Either way, the best in the world delivered. So anyway, thank you for watching. If the T hit right, hit the like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.